Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't touch that dial. Maybe I should start this program with order in the court, because today my guest is the president judge of the Montgomery County Courts, and he's the president judge of Montgomery County Courts, Common Pleas Court, okay, of Montgomery County. And it's a very good friend of mine. I worked in the DA's office. We were friends then, and we're still friends, and he's a great fight fan, too. When I refereed fight down at Spectrum, he used to be at ringside. So, Judge, welcome to Cisco Show.
Good to see you, Hank. Good to see you.
Good. And, you know, you're coming on with a lot of responsibility. You got a big election going on. You got 7 new judges coming in. So, what's new in the system? Let's talk about that. What's cooking?
Well, as you say, it'll be very interesting come January. Right now we have 19 judges, although we're legislatively entitled to 21. But Judge Nicholas retired last year, and as I'm sure you remember, Judge Toby Dickman
I worked on him. He was district attorney.
Judge Toby Dickman died 2 years ago, so those seats remain unfilled. Judge Rosanese has elected not to run for retention.
Well, he's just going to retire.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he may elect senior status, but
he like come in and do like a substitute.
He hasn't decided
like a pinch
that.
hitter.
Exactly, right off the bench, literally. And Judge Dreyer is retiring, mandatory.
Oh yeah.
He's to be 70, and yeah. Judge Corso is retiring. So
he's retiring too.
So there's 5 of them.
All these guys I knew, some of them when Judge Nicholas before.
Yeah.
Or he was a judge, and a lot of them before.
Judge Nicholas gave me my first job as an assistant DA back in the early 70s.
Yeah.
We also have 2 new legislatively created seats. So come January, we'll have 23 judges instead of our present 19. And we've been operating shorthanded for the last couple of years, and it remains to be seen exactly where these judges are going to go, because first of all, I don't know who's going to be elected, and I'll have to see what their expertise, where that lies, and where the help is most needed. So once November 3rd rolls around, we'll be moving pretty quickly.
In other words, November 3rd is the election. Mm-hmm. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, get out and vote. Got 7 judges coming in, you know. It's the first time in the history of...
it is.
First time in the history that I recall. And
it'll be
around a lot of corners.
It'll be quite a handful, and just trying to get.
And you're the president judge, and you're the guy that had to, you know, bob and weave, slip and slide, put them over here.
Yeah, I'll be bobbing and weaving and slipping and sliding. But we have to find chambers for all of them. We have to find courtrooms for all of them. And
well, you have to build.
Well, we've one of the things that happened this year is we moved the whole orphans court from the courthouse. Orphans court handles estates and trusts and those kinds of matters. We moved them to Montgomery Plaza. There's now 2 courtrooms over there, 2 chambers. The Register of Wills is over there.
So that support and stuff like that.
Everything, everything Orphans Court related is at Montgomery Plaza.
So do with divorces and
not divorces, but adoptions.
Well, I mean,
estates.
Pay.
Pardon me?
Like when somebody don't pay alimony and stuff like that.
No, that's family court. They're still they're still in the courthouse. The only thing in
family court's in the courthouse.
Yeah, orphans court is estates,
trusts. Who's in charge of
the family court or the orphans court?
Yeah,
orphans court. The chief judge there is Stanley Ott.
Ott, he's been there for a while.
And Judge Dreyer works with him.
And before him was he was my neighbor.
Judge Taxis.
Judge Taxis.
For
years.
He lived
in the 1400 block of Powell, and I lived in 1700.
Yep. Yeah, he was a
great guy.
He was a wonderful judge as well. So we'll have to see where all that plays out. But moving the orphans court across the street gave us 2 more courtrooms
over there.
To use. And of course, Judge Dickman's chambers have been vacant. And
the district attorney's office most likely will just stay where it's at, I guess. Most likely.
As far as I know, they're on the 4th floor, and I'm not aware of any plans to expand.
Because the district attorney, I mean, the county detectives are over there.
That's
right. 1.
That's right.
Right. They used to be down the cellar. When I was a county detective, was down the cellar.
But the space that the Register of Wills vacated to go across the street is now being utilized by the court administrator's office that needed to be expanded.
In other words,
we're giving them more space, we're giving the clerk of courts more space, and we're giving the public defender more space.
What you're really saying is that the courthouse is going to be really a courthouse.
Eventually it will be.
Because that everything used to go to courthouse to get dog license, marriage license.
I suspect one day it'll be nothing but courtrooms and chambers. That day will come. I agree with you.
Good. And so you got 7 new judges. Now, what, now you have different divisions, like, I know you have a juvenile court judge.
We have juvenile court judge. Right now, we have 6 judges in criminal. We have 4.
Six judges in criminal.
Yeah, 7, excuse me, 7 in criminal. We have 5 in family. We have 4 in civil, 1 in juvenile, and 2 in orphans court.
Right. And
So we're going to beef up all those divisions when we get the new judges.
and then there's more people are suing, and people, I guess, now, I would say one thing, you got another division, a new one, I guess it's, what do they call it, the behavioral health?
Well,
What's that all
we
about?
have what we call our specialty courts.
What do they call it?
Behavioral health court.
Okay.
The first specialty court we established in 2006 was drug court, which has been operating.
drug war.
Drug court.
Drug court.
That was the first specialty
When I
court
say drug
we had.
war.
Yeah, well, that's why we
It
have
is a
a drug
war.
court.
It's a battle.
We established that 3 years ago.
Is that O'Neill?
Judge O'Neill handles that, and it works very well.
Right. Yeah.
If you ever get a chance, or anyone listening to this ever gets a chance to go to a drug court graduation, you'll be amazed to see what court-ordered supervision can do with some severe drug addicts who have cleaned themselves up and
Right.
have headed toward becoming productive members of society. It is an incredible thing
Yeah,
to watch.
and he's handled some big cases that, were
Yeah, but
like the football coach of the Eagles there, his kid,
his
he
son
had
was
to
in it.
handle
Yeah,
that. And
but he's
that was
done
a
a
lot of
wonderful.
publicity, and it's, he had to handle it, with a lot of,
The behavioral health court, we have found that someone with mental health problems, a prisoner, will
Okay.
likely to spend over 200, maybe 250 days in the prison before his case is disposed of. And the reason is they don't know what to do with him. They don't know where to send him. He has no place to go. There's no medical plan set for him. So we have established a behavioral health court to handle
they
those
fell
prisoners.
through the cracks.
Yeah, and people just don't know what to do with them.
Right.
So Judge Smythe stepped up to the plate, and he is heading behavioral
My
health
man,
court.
he
Yes.
promoted me to lieutenant when I was a
Yes,
county detective.
I've talked to him about that. The idea is to first attack the prison population, get some of these prisoners that have spent interminable amounts of time up there, and he's already gotten some of them out. And when I say gotten some of them out, they're under treatment plans.
Yeah.
They have medicine they have to take. They have people they have to see. And in some cases, if they follow all these dictates, then their charges are reduced or dismissed. But the idea, and it's quite frankly the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Someone has a mental health problem, he shouldn't be treated differently than somebody else. But we've always had the tools to do it. We never had the coordination and the court to address these problems. So that court is up and running as of July 1st, and it's
July 1st?
of this year. It's an
It's
operation.
already operation?
It's in operation right now, and
No, wait. Now, tell me just basically an example. Like if a guy, I remember when I was in juvenile, I worked in the juvenile division, the kid had a mental problem. The detention center would say, I can't handle him. He's mental. I take care of delinquents. Then the kid is a combination of mental and delinquent. Nobody can handle him. Because say, I take care of the mental, I take care of the delinquent, but I can't take care of both. So this kid falls through the cracks. He has no place to go.
right.
See?
They're the
So
kind of people we're looking to help.
That's it.
And so we would find someone like that, we would establish, or the team that examines him would establish a program for him, either to take medicine and or to see certain doctors. We get him transitional housing, try and get him a job, and try and get him back on his feet.
Right, right.
And the problem with mental health people is many times they agree to do all that stuff, then they feel better, and they stop taking
Right.
the medication, they're back where they started. Well, this program is designed to follow through with them. So it isn't just here, do this, do that, walk out the door, and we'll see you later. There's a follow-up program, so there's kind of like a hammer over their head in the event that they don't
Right.
follow through.
In other words, it's almost like the drug thing that, they keep evaluating.
Well,
But tell me-
and the answer is not to let them languish in prison because you don't know what to do with them.
Yeah,
The answer
right.
is to find out what you should do with them and do it, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. See, I don't know, it was some guy says, when I went to prison, I went in with a gun and I come out with a machine gun. And I said, well, I'm trying to figure out what he was talking about. And he went in there, you know, and learned something when he come out. So we got to be careful when we put somebody in there that rehab is really working.
The idea is
like
to...
when they're the learning, we don't want the prison to be a learning place for them to come out and do bigger crimes.
Well, the problem we're having now is the prison is overcrowded. And,
that's another problem, right?
We're trying to, we're addressing that with various programs. There's a time release, a time served program, a work release program. The legislature has signed rules or laws allowing us to transfer state prisoners who are serving a sentence in our county up to the state. And they're also, they're trying to build a new addition up there, and the county is in litigation with Lower Providence Township over permit fees. So I'm hoping that's going to resolve itself.
Trying to build a detention center or a prison in some town, there's a problem, right?
It is and it isn't. It's in Lower Providence. The prison is already there.
Got one there.
But and it's an addition to that prison. But I don't want to go into all the details. But the point is, while the prison is overcrowded, it impedes us from scheduling and putting on programs to help people.
So what do you do? What do you do?
You do the best you can. You schedule them when you can, where you can, and as often as you can. And as I said, some of the programs we put into place are helpful, but they're really only Band-Aids on a bigger problem. So we're trying to, the new prison or the new addition will hold 512 people. You know, and that would be very helpful.
I think a lot of people wonder, how's the decision made? This is a learning process, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I ask questions that I don't know what I like to know, and I'm sure that you would like to know. But why? What do you come to decision or criteria or whatever to put them in a county prison or a state prison? Is there something that they have to do, steal more money, or? I don't know.
I guess that's one barometer, but there's a lot of things that go into it. Some
background?
Well, yeah, but some cases carry mandatory sentences. Sale of some drugs, doesn't matter what your background is. It's a mandatory 1 year in jail, and anything on the minimum end that's over a year over, you have to go to the state prison. So other sentences are decided by what are called sentencing guidelines, which give you guidelines for the judges to follow. Okay. Other sentences are determined by looking at, and I'm sure you remember these pre-sentence investigation reports. Right. You look at that, you look at someone's background.
The probation officer looks into that.
And you look at someone's background, the nature of the crime, what they're like, and you take all those things into consideration. In other words, what you don't want to do is not sentence someone to the county prison because it's overcrowded. You have to, you still have to keep up your sentencing processes, and we work around that as best we can.
But I just often wonder, does the district attorney, the judge, and the police ever sit down and say, look, and the warden say, look, I got a prison here, it's full. District attorney, check with that police. Is there any crime prevention, trying to prevent these things from happening so the police won't have to be arresting everybody and then send them to the court, and then the court has to send them to prison?
Well, I can simply tell you this.
Crime prevention, does anybody say, hey, let's...
that would be between the district attorney and the police department. They don't include us in those kinds of discussions.
And the warden...
they shouldn't. We're supposed to decide the cases in front of us. We're not supposed to decide how they get there.
I got that. You don't decide how they get there.
No, I'm supposed to make a decision based on what's in front of me, and we all do that best we can.
I remember Judge Danaher one time, way back. I was just a rookie cop, and something before they had the Miranda case, and the guy said illegal warrant, and the guy said, he said he didn't have a warrant when he got me, and that's Judge said, what's the difference how he got? You're here, aren't you? Let's go with the case. Well, that you don't happen now.
You can't do that.
The police have to be well educated. And the district attorney works with the police to make sure that it's a good case. They're not abusing somebody's
That's what they
rights,
try to do. Yep.
Right? And make sure it's a good, clean pinch. It's a lot of work, a lot of money, So, all right, now, I mentioned that about crime prevention, but if you pick up the paper today, you see now, right here locally, right here in East Norton, there's your fast food places getting robbed. What was it, the Burger King or one of them, McDonald's or so, has stick-ups, So we're talking about the economy. When things get tough, these guys go out and start stealing.
Crime goes up.
So how's that affect the court?
Well, the court is affected by the economy like everyone else is. We are right in the middle of our budget reviews with the county commissioners now, and one of the programs we had was a civil settlement program where we had retired judges. You remember Judge Vogel,
Yeah,
Judge Davenport,
right.
and Judge Brown, and also an attorney, Bill Pugh IV. They would pre-try, that is, try and settle every civil case that we had before it went to trial. And a lot of them would settle that way. And it saves the court from having to sit down and do that, so that the cases that come over to us.
Would they have a title or anything?
Civil settlement masters.
What do they call it?
They were civil settlement
Oh, no,
masters.
they were like a master.
Yes.
Instead of being a judge, they were a
That's right.
master.
That's
Okay.
right. And we had to eliminate that program
Why?
because of cost.
No money.
So the good news
There's a
is
perfect example there where it could help decrease the
it is
population in the
because
jail.
well, I don't know if it would help decrease the population in the jail.
Well,
but it would
I mean,
certainly
if they
help
could
with
settle a case.
The civil case backlog would
Oh,
certainly
civil.
be
Oh,
helped.
yeah, okay. That's civil case.
But we are getting new judges,
Yeah, but-
so I'm hoping
but
the new judges will take that over. But there's a
If
lot of
we don't
experience we have
settle
there.
them, if we don't settle them, they're going to go out and fight, and then next thing you know, we got a criminal case, right?
Right. You can have a criminal case come out about just about anything I've learned. Nothing surprises me anymore. So.
Okay, and but it has affected. What other ways? Is there any ways that other ways?
Well,
of the
I don't
economy?
know yet because we've submitted our budget to the commissioners, and
Are they working along?
well, we have to appear in
I
front
got
of
my phone. I had a phone here. I called direct. You know, hello, Commissioner. Hello, Governor. You know,
I have
Send
to.
some money.
We have to make our presentation to them next week, and I hope hopefully we'll be all right.
I
We're
think
not in a
they go along.
position to cut personnel. Each judge has his own staff. I can't say
Right.
to one judge, well, you can't have a secretary, you can't have a
Oh.
law clerk. I mean, they're all different. So, and our budget's actually going to go up because we have 4 new judges, and they have to have staffs.
right.
So I'm not going to be in a position to go
So
over there and say
that's
we
an added thing that
Yes.
normally you wouldn't have.
wouldn't
right?
have. But these are constitutionally created judgeships, and they have to be funded, and they have to have support staff. So the commissioners understand that, but
Oh, sure.
we have to go over and present our budget like everybody else does. But in the meantime, I was trying to do everything I can to cut corners, and one of the things was the
Well-
civil settlement program.
But Montgomery County, I would say, is one of the biggest counties as far as, now you're going to have 23 judges. There's not many counties throughout the state that have that many, other
We're
than
the
I'm saying
third
Philadelphia,
biggest.
Pittsburgh.
We're the third biggest behind Philadelphia.
Third, all right, we got Philadelphia, Pittsburgh,
And then us.
and Montgomery County. Oh, Governor, send some money down here, you know, come on. And who else? The president?
Sure, send
Got
him
that
down
Stimmy's
yeah,
money?
Sure, send it
Stimmy's-
all
I
down.
don't know, that's
We'll-
what
we'll
they give it a
take all-
fancy,
we'll take
they give
all
it a
of it.
fancy name. Get some of them down in Montgomery County.
Yeah, we'll do
But
that. So it's an interesting process, and like I said, everybody's affected, and there's other departments in the courthouse that have the same problems that we do. So, and it's like a domino effect. You take
Right,
this one
right,
out of
right.
here, that hurts that one, that hurts that one.
Police have to be well paid, you know, the district attorneys, you know, you got young district attorneys come right out of college, you know, they have to get the experience,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and we don't want to lose the cases, you know, and
And the county has a hiring freeze now too, so that if you lose someone, it's very difficult to rehire
right,
someone to replace
right,
them.
right,
So,
right.
you gotta be careful of that.
You know, I just want to jump over, years ago, when I was in the DA's office, I used to have there were some kids that got involved in problems, and they couldn't make restitution, like because they were 13 or 12, and they couldn't get working papers to make any money. So I started a little program. I said, well, the police department, I'd assist if they couldn't make restitution, go out and work and make some money. So what I did is I went to the prison, and I got some prisoners to make up some little boxes.
The Cisco
And,
kids.
Little shoe shine boxes.
Yeah.
And I call them the Cisco kids.
Yeah,
And
I
each one
remember
had
that.
had a number, and they were in the
You
courthouse.
can tell it's old, 50 cents.
Yeah, well, yeah, talk about the economy.
Yeah.
Why, and they make some good money. They had, like, we had good coverage. Here's a thing right out in front of the courthouse.
I remember them very well.
Yeah. And you used to get your shoes shined.
I
I
did.
said, look, I know there's a lot of lawyers. They want to get their shoes shined, go before the courts. They want to look good. And when they initiated that program, it was Judge, he was a district attorney then, Joe
Joe
Smythe. Marburger,
Right.
and
Paul Bartle.
and Paul Bartle was
was commissioner,
commissioner. And
correct.
I was there shining the shoes, and they endorsed the program.
Yeah, a lot of people did. A lot of
I know,
people.
and the kids made money. You
Yeah.
know. And then another, I got along so good with the judge when I was DA, but I used to referee box, and here's two judges, two popular judges.
Yeah.
He was Judge Moss, who was a district attorney. I
Right.
worked under him, and also Judge Cirillo, who was
Right.
a judge, and then he became a Superior Court judge.
That's right.
You know, and they also get the shoe shine. you know.
Yeah.
So, Judge, I'm going to see that you get that box. You know, and that way you'll have it right in. We're going to keep it in your office.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All righty. Good. And but that was a good deal. You know, the
It
kids
was,
would come in
and
there.
a lot of kids, a lot of people in town supported them, not because they needed shoe shines, but they knew why they were doing it, and they also knew
Yeah.
you were behind it. And a lot of people, a lot of respect for you in Norristown, Hank.
Well,
so-
well, it wasn't only the kids that for restitution. Kids were making money. I have the folder, and some of the kids that were, they make. One kid made about $22 a day, and then they come back and at the end of the day they would come in my office and leave the money there, and then at the end of the week they get the money, and then they tell me what they did with the money. They bought a hat, they coat, or school books, or something like that. You
Yeah.
know, so this is great,
It was
and
a
I'm
good
glad
program.
I'm glad that you want to keep this thing going. you
Yeah,
know.
it was a good
So-
program.
And that, well, you know, most of the people wearing sneakers now, you know, so, but they want to look good when you go before the courts. So we'll start that program. Now, how long you been a judge?
Just yesterday was 15 years.
How many?
15.
Wow. In other words, you got 5 years more, right, before election. What do they do, every 10 years?
Yeah, we have to run for retention every 10 years. My
Every 10
next
years.
retention would be 2016.
And now tell me something about yourself, okay? Now, you know about me. I bopped and I slip and slide, and all that stuff. But now tell me about you.
Well, what would you like to know?
Well, where you from? What
I-
school did you go to?
I grew up in the Mount Airy section of Philadelphia.
Okay.
And I went to LaSalle High School, and I went to Holy Cross College, which is in Massachusetts, and I went to Villanova Law School. I lived in Plymouth Township for about 28 years, and I married my wife in 1982, and we moved to Worcester Township in 1999. We live right across from Methacton High School now.
Oh, okay. You
know,
live there?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
called
yeah.
Chadwick Place. Very nice.
My grandson's captain of the soccer team at Methacton.
That's a very nice
Doing
school.
good.
My granddaughter lives with us, and she attends Methacton, so I get to hear a lot about it.
Yeah.
I was 20 years a lawyer before I was 3 years a prosecutor, 20 years a lawyer before I became a judge in 1994.
Any children?
I have a stepson who has 2 granddaughters.
Okay.
So we're plenty busy.
They around?
Yeah.
What they do?
You name it, they do it. The 2 are in school, and the other one's he's a collection representative.
Right.
So.
But
So I,
why did you want to become a lawyer? What made you want
why I
to
want to
become
become a lawyer? Well, it was
You
interesting.
know, everybody has a
because
starting point.
I have,
Your brother's a lawyer.
and my father was a
And your
lawyer,
lawyer was a top guy for the Archdiocese of Philadelphia.
which was my father. My father and brother were lawyers. My father started.
Which one was
They both did.
for the Archdiocese of Philadelphia?
Yeah.
They don't live there now.
No, my brother retired last year. My dad died in 1987. But I watched them as lawyers growing up, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And one thing I'll always appreciate my father telling me is, you do what you want to do as long as you're happy. So I tried
Right.
law school. He never pushed me there, never told me to do it. And I stayed, and things happened.
That's great, you know.
Yeah.
And we've
very
been friends.
fortunate.
We've been friends. I remember we used to go
Early-
to fights with
early
Judge Moss, and
70s,
then we
yeah.
would go to a big Italian restaurant after the
Like the
fights.
saloon, yes.
Manja.
Yes, very good. Very good.
Judge, courts, what do you do when the
Court's
court is
adjourned,
out of
huh?
session?
Yeah.
We got the signal, it's half hour is over.
All
Half
right.
hour went so fast.
Yeah.
Judge, it's been a pleasure.
Good to see you as always,
And
Hank.
lots of luck on your newest, well, not
I'll
newest
come back and
but
talk
the
to you
7
about
new
it.
judges,
I'll
right?
come back and talk to you about it once we get in place.
Yeah, I like to. And I'd like to talk to you more about that, get Judge Smythe here.
You
And
should.
also O'Neill about that
You might bring
drug
them both
court.
together. They're
Yeah.
both on the same
That would be,
plane.
yeah, that would be
a
great.
good thing to
Maybe
do.
come over there and then you can moderate the thing.
Oh, I don't have to moderate it. That's what you do.
All right, Bob and weave and slip and slide.
I
Ladies
know.
and gentlemen, thanks a lot for allowing us to come into your home, and I hope you got something out of it. If there's anything, any questions or anything, you can touch base with me. On the screen there, you'll see how to get in touch with me. And also, if you want to know anything about the courts, Montgomery County Courts. And until we meet again, keep bobbing and weaving, okay? And then we do here, Judge, Hala salute.
And to you.
Right. Oh, and I have one thing I got to give you, too. This is the thing for your office.
Uh-oh.
1 minute. I think I got it here. It says here, 1, 2, 3. Thanks for being on my show. How's that?
Thank you very much.
Ooh.
Thank you very much. Good to
Thank
be
you.
here.
All right.